Okay, so I'm about to give you about 10 years of therapy in just a few minutes. And if you truly understand what I'm about to say, your life will never be the same again. I promise. And I know people say they promise things on the internet all the time, but I'm serious about this one. If you already understand what I'm about to explain, you will probably be the person in the comments telling everyone, this changed my life. And if this is the first time you've ever heard this and you actually understand it, I promise it'll change the way you see yourself forever. And you'll never be able to go back to the way you used to see things. So let me start with a question I ask people all the time. Who are you? Most people immediately start describing behaviors. I am kind. I am loving. I am nice. I'm an empath. Or they describe roles they play. I'm a husband. I'm a wife. I'm a boyfriend. I'm a girlfriend. I'm a doctor. I'm a businessman. Others will say things like, I am scared. I'm lost. I do not know who I am. I need to go find myself. But none of those things are who you are. Those are behaviors. Those are roles. Those are tendencies. Those are preferences. Those are things you have, not who you are. But for most of us, when we're asked the question, who are you? The only answer we have are the things that we relate to in the outside world. And in my opinion, this is one of the leading causes of our struggles. It affects our relationships with ourselves, our friends, our family, our lovers, our job, our health, our money, because our identity becomes built on a cultural script that is constantly changing. You were handed that script growing up. You learned what a good person was supposed to be, what a good husband is supposed to be, what success is supposed to look like. And then you spend your whole life standing on a stage performing that script in front of an audience, hoping that they'll clap. Because when they clap, you feel good. You feel enough. You feel safe. But when they stop clapping, or when somebody criticizes you or someone leaves, your identity feels shattered. Now you have to defend it. This is why when you tell someone that something they did hurt you, they do not listen with their ears, they listen with their triggers. Because they're defending an identity that they have attached themselves to. You say, you hurt me. But what they hear is, this person's telling me I'm not enough, I'm not a good person. So they defend themselves, not because they're bad people, but because their identity has attached to the role they believe they are playing. But here's the realization that changes everything. You are not the person on the stage performing the script. You're the one behind the curtain watching the performance. This is why I constantly tell people this. You are not the voices in your head. You are the one who hears them. Those voices in your head are the sum of your lived experiences. Beliefs, wounds, trauma responses, fear, what I call the village of me's. And once you start waking up, you start seeing something important. Those voices are not the leader, they're the villagers. The reason people struggle so much is because they live in the village as a villager instead of leading the village as the observer. When the villagers start screaming things like, I'm not enough, or I'm scared, or I need control, or I can't be alone, people start reacting. They escape, they reach for control, they numb themselves with addictions, they fight. They people please, hoping that if everyone around them is happy, they'll finally feel safe. But all those strategies come from the same place. A voice in the village trying to protect itself. And then we make the mistake of turning those strategies into identity. I am a smoker. Now smoke is no longer something you do, it is who you are. I am a people pleaser. Now you can't not people please. I am an empath. No, you're not. You may have a part of you that expresses empathy, but that is not your identity. Even when we label other people, we say they are a narcissist. Narcissism is a strategy usually built from a wound that says, I'm not enough. So the mind becomes grandiose to make sure that wound never gets touched again. It sounds a lot like people pleasing. Something hurt me a long time ago, and now I'm trying to control the environment so everyone stays happy and I finally feel safe. These are all voices in the village. But you are not the villagers. You are the village leader, the one who hears the voices. Sometimes in therapy, we get caught up trying to change the way the villager feels. We try to fix the emotion. We try to get rid of sadness. We try to stop anxiety. We try to eliminate anger. But the truth is, we're not supposed to control the feeling. We're supposed to allow it, but we must separate ourselves from it. Think of it like this. Your thoughts and emotions are like clouds. Sometimes they're beautiful. Sometimes they're dark. Sometimes they rain and you cry. Sometimes they thunder and you fight. But you're not the cloud. You are the sky. The sky does not try to control the clouds. The clouds come and the clouds go. But the sky remains. The moment you identify with the cloud, you become the cloud. But the moment you remember you're the sky, you can watch the clouds pass without losing yourself inside the cloud. And once you see this, something else becomes obvious. Most of the suffering in your life is not coming from reality. It is coming from your preferences. The voice in your head constantly says something like, I need this to go my way in order for me to feel okay. I need them to act differently. I need this situation to change. I need reality to be different than it is. And when reality doesn't match the preference, suffering begins. Watch how simple this is. I prefer it doesn't rain, but it rains. Now I suffer. Why? Because I attached myself to an outcome I do not control. Now I'm not saying don't have preferences. It is impossible not to have preferences. Watch this. I prefer not to prefer. That's still a preference. It's impossible. So the goal is not to eliminate preferences. The goal is to notice them. Because the moment the preference is not met, suffering begins. So the next time you feel angry or jealous or sad or depressed, listen carefully to the voice. It will say, I did not like that. Now ask the next question. What was the preference? And the voice will answer, I wanted it to be this way in order for me to feel okay. But if you had influence over that, you would have changed it. And if you do not have influence over that, you have to accept that. This is what surrender really means. Surrender does not mean giving up on life. It means giving up the demand that reality be different than it actually is. And when you do that, you stop reacting to life. You start responding to it. You move from compensation to clarity, from fear to leadership, from the villagers screaming in the street to the observer leading the village. Now, if you've read my book, Who's Talking, or if you've been listening to me on TikTok long enough, you already know this is the core of everything I teach. If anything I've ever said or anything you've read in that book has helped you in some way, I want you to say that in the comments so other people can see it. And if you read the book and you did not like it, say that too. I have nothing to hide. If you want to work with me directly, you can go to thechrishenson.com. There you can get one-on-one coaching with me, you can get the book, and you can also get tickets to see me in person. Our next stop is Dallas, Texas, March 14th through the 18th, 2026. I hope this helped, and please remember this. Your job is not to control life. It is to experience it. And when you allow life to unfold the way it unfolds, you finally reach a point where you find the real you showing up intentionally and leading yourself from a place of clarity instead of fear. See you next time.